Today, I'm going to be covering a topic from one of my subscribers, and I made a bunch of notes. So the subscriber, Strong Relaxed 9202, thank you for this. And Strong Relaxed 9202 asked me to do a topic of what to do if a woman is putting down weird boundaries. So that's what this video is about, is so what to do when the woman starts putting up or putting down these strange boundaries, right? We're going to cover that, and I've got some personal stories to also make some points. All right, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Kane. I'm the Silver Bachelor. This channel is 100% dedicated to dating advice for older guys. And if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and a notification button because I'm dropping a video every day. All right, so what do you do when a woman is putting down weird boundaries? And you might be thinking, Silver Bachelor, come on, man, be more specific. What do you mean weird boundaries? So I got some examples for you. So let's say she says, my exes never texted me during the week. Okay. So just a quick side note. This exactly happened to me. I remember I was dating this person when I was back in Canada. So I'm originally from Canada and I moved to Atlanta 15 months ago for my work. And I'm dating this woman. And at that time, okay, I will confess this. This was early on in my dating journey because I was married. So I've been single now for 2.5 years. So at that time, I was newly separated from my then ex-wife, like 6 months. And bro, I get it. I was needy, I was clingy, and I wanted to communicate with her every day because I thought, well, that's what she will like. She will like me more and that I'm showing her attention. It's the fucking opposite, bro. Do not do that. And this is what happened. So 2 months in, and I'm messaging her daily. Actually, this happened to me twice. So the first time, messaging her daily, and she said this exact same thing. She said, well, my exes normally didn't text me during the week. Like we would make a plan at the end of the weekend for the next weekend. No communications throughout the week. That's a red flag, bro. Not a red flag from her. It's a red flag that she's now losing interest in you and she's going to pull away and it's probably not going to work out. And that's exactly what happened in my case. She started getting annoyed and then eventually she started pulling away. I was chasing more and then it blew up and ended. Okay. Same thing when the reason why I created this dating channel. So I created this channel. Well, my first video was published in October 2023. And because I really liked this one woman, and she was beautiful and all these things, and I made this mistake a second time. I was texting her as we started dating more and more, like we dated about 6 months. After the first couple months, I started texting her a little bit more because I felt comfortable, right? And all of us are guilty of that. She's beautiful, the sex is great. Maybe she love bombed you at the beginning, and so you kind of get in this pattern. So that's what happened to me. And sure shit, 3 months, 4 months in, she says, I was kind of thinking that maybe we shouldn't text each other so much. It's a little overwhelming. So I would reach out to her during the day once or twice or whatever. So this is the bomb she dropped on me. And guess what? It was the beginning of the end. She started pulling away. She started losing interest. So that's what happens when a woman. So at the end of the day, I will just say this to save you from watching this video for the rest of the video. If she's putting down weird boundaries, she's not into you, ultimately. If a woman is into you, like really into you, like burning desire into you, not that you're going to come across this all the time, but at the end of the day, if she's into you, there's not going to be weird boundaries and stuff like that. But the weird boundaries can happen in these examples I mentioned to you during the relationship because you're being too clingy, you're being too available, and you're being too needy. All right. So next, another example is somebody who's a pillow princess. So a weird boundary would be, in this example of a pillow princess, well, let's say you've spent 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 50, well, however much time, you get her off first. But now she doesn't want to return the favor. That's a weird boundary. Like she said, she gets off and now she said, oh, I'm tired. Let's just go to bed. This has happened to me a few times. And now if that ever happened to me, I'd say, well, obviously the vibe's off. I'm going to get my Uber and get home. Or I'd basically kick her out and say, look, the vibe's off. Why don't I get your Uber home? So that is a big, big, weird boundary. And it's a power move where you've got her off first. And now she's saying that she doesn't want to help you get off. Nope, I don't play that. So that's number 2 example. A number 3 example is, I remember it was pretty early on in this case with this woman that I was dating. It was like a month in, 6 weeks in, and it was late, and I wanted her to come over. And so this was part of the problem, is I think she sensed that I wanted her to come and see me, but it was like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And she said, I offered to get her an Uber to come and see me. And she's like, I don't like Ubers. So this is what I mean. That told me in that moment that she had that weird boundary, like, oh, I don't do Ubers, because I was always picking her up right in the car, and I just didn't feel like it, and it was late. So, but that was also the beginning of the end, but here's the thing. How I handled that one is I said, okay, fine, let's meet another time. So I didn't cave and go pick her up. So that is an example of how to reverse it so you don't lose your masculine frame. All right. So basically, so another one, which, okay, you might think this is a weird boundary, but some women, and I have 2 more, I'm just looking at my notes, I have 2 more examples. So someone would say, oh, don't call me after 10 o'clock. It's not really a weird boundary. I respect that. But I'm thinking, as a guy, right, I never call or text a woman after 10 o'clock. Unless it's the weekend night, and unless it's like, hey, are you going out? Okay, that's the exception, right? She says, text me later to see what you're up to, whatever. But if you haven't really made a plan, and now you're texting her or you're calling her after 10 o'clock, in fact, any night of the week, but you haven't made a plan, it shows you're desperate and needy. So if she calls me or texts me after 10 o'clock, more times than not, I don't even answer. I don't even look at it, because I want also her to think, wait a minute, I'm going to bed. Like, I got to get up early and stuff. So it could be perceived as a weird boundary, but not really. Last but not least, actually 2 more. I've got a bonus one for you. So this one is, let's say you're making a plan for a restaurant, and you didn't ask her if she's vegetarian or vegan. So I always ask before the first date, oh, do you have any dietary preferences? I don't say restrictions, dietary preferences. And then they will say, yes, I'm vegetarian, or yes, I'm vegan, whatever, right? So that avoids this weird boundary. But let's say that you go to ask her out on a date, you recommend a restaurant, and she says, oh, I only go to vegan restaurants. I say bounce from that one, which, by the way, I don't date vegans. Sorry for those vegans that are watching. Nope, don't do it. It's too strict for me, and I'm a carnivore, so I don't date vegans. So another weird boundary, this is the bonus one, is, and I saw this before many times on dating apps, where the woman would say in her profile, I don't do drink dates and I don't do coffee dates. Okay, that's a fucking weird boundary, and I avoid that profile like the plague. She is just wants to control men that she's dating, and she's not even impressed by you asking her out. Now she's saying, well, don't ask me out for a drink, don't ask me out for coffee. Like, what's wrong with that? I mean, I don't typically do coffee dates, and I don't do just drink dates, but maybe that's what happens, because maybe she's not available when you're available and all this stuff, and you say, you know what, do you want to meet during Saturday afternoon for a coffee? I have had some dates like that. But again, if she puts that on her dating profile, that's a weird boundary, and you should bounce. So hope you like this video. Let me know in the comments what other weird boundaries you can share with the viewers of this video in the comments so that it's helpful to all of us, because maybe there's some stuff that you guys have been through. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even realize that was a weird boundary. Okay. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.